Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome to this next level marketing call. My name is James Zheng. I will be your MC and your host today. Oh, and I see our good friend and our special host, John, here. I'll make you a co-host for now. And the reason why you're on here today is because you had a friend that was telling you about an opportunity that they felt could transform your life. And we have the absolute honor today of introducing you to somebody that seriously is literally wanted all around the world. He is, I mean, everyone's important in this company, in this venture. But if there's somebody that's really important that you want to get to know, if you want to look for something for the long run, if you want to look for something that you can build, I'm curious, we all have different goals here, but who here has a goal to be able to build something financially that you can continue to be secure in for your future, for your children's future, and your children's children, right? Yeah, that's what we all want. So it's absolutely important. And I want to submit a couple of things to you as we get into tonight, and I'll bring up our special guest in just a little bit. But for those of you that don't know me, I've been a professional in the network marketing direct selling space for the last 15 years. So I've seen a lot of things, a lot of good, and also some bad as well too. And what I've realized is there's a couple things that you need to look for. So if you're jotting down any notes, I want to submit to you, there's 5 things that you have to look for in order to succeed in any business, but especially in this type of business. You ready for some notes? Give me a waiver type of 5 in the chat if that's the case, okay? Number 1, you need to make sure that you find products that people want to buy. You need to make sure if you sell something, there's a demand for that. So we're going to answer that question. Are there those products? Number 2, you need to make sure on the business front, is there the proper support and system? Hey, Lindsay, is there the proper support and system that can help you drive towards success? Number 3, if you do the work, will it compensate you well enough? Is it worth your time? Number 4, are you ready to do what it needs to take to actually succeed? Who here can agree that many times we are our own worst enemy, right? We are our own worst enemy. So all of these things are important: products, support in your system, compensation, and ourselves. But what's super important above all of that, even if we have all of that, maybe some of you have had network marketing experience. If you have, by the way, put a 1 in the comments below. Maybe you're brand new. You have no idea. Maybe you guys are here because you heard about these body balancing #skinny drops and you're like, I want to check this out and see what it is. Put a 2 if that's the case. If you're new, if that's the case, it's a good place to be at. And maybe you're at a place where I was, though. I've been a partner of these drops for the last almost 13 years. And we had an amazing company with a top rated comp plan, with a product that people really wanted and a system that was fantastic. But we faced a situation not that long ago when the company failed us. And that's what's happening right now in our profession. Unfortunately, post-COVID, there's a lot of companies that had a lot of financial pressures all across the board in business as a whole, but specifically in this industry. And unfortunately, huge companies, all types of companies are folding, are selling, are merging, are changing. And there's an interesting flux that's going on. And we were in that place not long ago, seeing what we had built for over a decade and asking ourselves our question of, will this all go away overnight? And I believe the most important thing to look at, if you have all those other 4 I mentioned, is number 5. Number 5 is the company you choose to partner with. And specifically the owners, the founders, the executives of that company. Who are they? And do they have our back? Can we ride into midnight together, into the sunset together? Will they be there for you and your family when times matter the most? And when that whole thing happened, I had an opportunity for the first time in life to really get a chance to know this gentleman I have the honor of introducing you guys today. And he shared his vision, he shared his background. And I will tell you this, a year and a half later, after meeting with John and his good friend and partner, Darren, this company is breaking records. This company is doing amazing things. And I'm the most excited I've ever been, not just for me and my family, but for every single person that decides to partner in this venture as well too. The future is bright. But I wanted to bring him on tonight because don't take my word for it. We have the opportunity to get a chance to hear from Mr. John Wadsworth himself and get the story. So Mr. John, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
James, so good to see you. You said a year and a half ago, and you made me reminisce back. Man, a lot of things have happened.
A lot's happened. It's been
So
crazy.
much.
And I need to get some of that merch, by the way. That looks good on you.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I love your studio, man. You look crystal clear. That's good. I'm on the road, or I'd look a little better, but wow.
You look good. I try my best. Well, John, well, first, I just want to honor you and I want to thank you. Since getting to know you, and I'm excited for everyone to get to know you today, bar none, when it comes to leadership, there's a law of the lid. And in any organization, and especially network marketing, we follow the leader. Your work ethic, your character, your integrity, your enthusiasm, I'm inspired every single day. And I don't know how you do it, man. I think it's all that noni, to be honest. So it's
Gotta
good.
be, huh? Something's driving us, huh?
Exactly. But John, I'd love to take us back just so we can get a chance to know you, because when we first connected, I want trust takes time to build. And I just didn't know you. And a lot of people just didn't know you. I knew of you, but I didn't know you. But when I got a chance to really understand where you were coming from, I'm like, wow, this is a person I can call a partner. But how'd you get introduced to this whole network marketing thing? What was that like?
So that's a great question. But can I just preface with, because I've been thinking about this. I mean,
Yeah.
we wake up every day and there's some new crazy announcement, right? The industry is going through a lot of uncertainty. And it's crazy, isn't it? We join this industry because we want safety and security. We want a pathway to our dreams, and that's exactly what it's for. And that's exactly why I joined it. But if I start at the very beginning, I grew up in a huge family. So I learned at a very young age to be self-sufficient
Mm.
and to be independent. And I started working at age 11.
Wow.
You know, if you decide to work for yourself and do your own thing, there's no child labor laws, I guess. So I was delivering paper at age 11, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning because I just had that drive, and that's the first time that I tasted what it's like to build a subscription business
Mm.
where you go out and get customers and you do a one-time sale and you get paid every month for that one-time sale. So I was waking up really early before school and I would fold the papers and go deliver them. And funny thing, I was out with my kids the other night because I still have two young kids and they're actually 10 and 11.
Wow.
So I got four kids, but the two youngest are 10 and 11. So my 11-year-old, it was night and it was dark. She's like, Dad, are you scared of the dark? Like, no. In fact, when I was your age, I was out at 4 o'clock in the morning in the pitch black delivering papers all by myself. And it's just crazy to realize what you did as a child and then kind of look at your own kids and what they're doing. But that was my first taste of not just independence, but being able to build something that has that type of future where you do a one-time sale and it pays you every single month. But that lasted a couple of years, and then I went on the traditional track, and I always had a job, and I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian. I was
Wow.
interested in science. I went to school as a science major. I was getting my undergraduate degree,
Come on,
and
science.
I know, right? So I had this very long educational pathway in front of me, but I'd always paid my own way to everything. I didn't want to go into debt, and I was working part-time in product development. And if you can believe it, I went to a network marketing convention, and I was there to train on product.
Hmm.
I sat down in the audience after the product part was over, and all these people stood up and started telling their stories.
Hmm.
You know, they talked about their dreams, they talked about the challenges that they've been through, the problems that they were facing, and then triumph, and then their success and what it was going to allow them to do the rest of their life. And here I was just about to go to graduate school, and I calculated it was going to cost $250,000
Oh,
to finish,
dang.
right? So the typical career path is you borrow the money, you go to school, you spend 25 years paying it off, and then finally when you're in your 60s, you know, you're debt free and you have a little bit of freedom. I was like, man, there's got to be a better way. So here I am, I'm open, I'm receptive. I'm sitting in the audience and I'm listening to these stories. And I'm like, wow, I could do that.
Hmm.
Maybe I could do that. Maybe I could take a break and go out and do what they're talking about and build a team and exactly what you laid out at the beginning of the call, a product that people love. You're actually helping people transform their health. They fall in love with it. They're going to buy it every month. I get to introduce it to them. I get to help them make that lifestyle choice and adopt those daily healthy habits. And what if I could earn enough to pay for school and come out debt free? And the freedom would start from day one instead of waiting 25 years, just accelerate everything. That was my little mini dream.
Yeah.
So I knew nothing about network marketing.
Hmm.
I had a science degree, so I knew all about science. I knew a lot about products. I was, you know, I've been trained to be self-sufficient, so I had the discipline and the skills, and I had spent 2 years as a missionary.
Wow.
So I wasn't afraid to talk to people. Like I had a lot of experience talking to people, and talking to strangers I'd gotten used to it. In the beginning, of course, it was scary, just like everyone goes through a process. But I got to the point where talking to a stranger, no big deal. I could talk to anybody. And because I had been a missionary in Japan, I
Hmm.
spoke Japanese.
I
So I
see.
had this crazy idea. I had no money at the time, but I'm like, man, what if I took this to Japan? And I call I was a good student. I had good grades. I got accepted to the school of my choice. You know, I got accepted to the top rated vet school. It was a huge honor. And I actually I called up the school and I said, "Can I defer?"
Wow.
You know, this was gutsy, right? Because you go through all this work to get accepted, and then you're going to ask them to let you get back in later.
Wow.
And God was good, and they said yes, right? So that gave me the courage to actually do it. So I pack up a suitcase. I have, I really have nothing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I travel really light. I jump back over to Japan. Still don't know what I'm doing, but I know, hey, this business is about talking to people.
Hmm.
It's about contacting people. It's about presenting. It's about kind of showing them a better way. So I'm in the middle of Tokyo and I pick the busiest street corner that I can find where the most people, anyone who's been to Tokyo, if I said where I went, you would know exactly what I was talking about because there was hundreds of people there walking across this huge intersection every day. So I had my pick. I could talk to easily 100 people a day, easily. And I didn't know what to say to them, but I knew I was supposed to talk to people. So I just go out and start practicing. And I'll be honest, it
Yeah.
was grueling. And I got zero results for 4 months.
Wow.
That's every day for 4 months. So this is like 120 days. I got my goal to talk to 100 people a day. and I just get better and better and better, but nobody's responding. Nobody's responding. I can't figure out what's wrong with my pitch. Why is nobody responding?
Wow.
So at that point, I got a little reflective and I said, man, maybe I should study what network marketing is and how other people do this. So I started going to other meetings. Like I went to an Herbalife meeting and I went to a big New Skin convention. I just sat in the back and I put on my study hat and I watched how they did things. I watched how they did their presentations. And I started to figure out, okay, how you do a persuasive presentation.
Hmm.
And I did some crazy things because in the beginning you got to do kind of crazy things. So
Yeah.
I got this. They had a magazine that was dedicated to network marketing,
Yeah.
and people do advertisements in the back. And really, they're trying to recruit someone.
Right.
But I would get the magazine. I'd go to the back and I would call up the advertisers and ask them to meet, and they'd be so excited to meet because they think they have a prospect, right? And I hope this was okay, but I'd sit down with them and I'd listen to them, but then I'd like reverse and practice my pitch on them. And it was like 1 out of 10, but James, it worked. So I
Wow.
finally got this guy through the magazine to come and listen to a presentation. Remember, this is 4 months in. I've been doing this every single day. I go home after talking to people all day. I don't have anybody to listen to me, but I set up a camera and I present to the camera. So I'm practicing my presentation.
Hmm.
And I watch it afterwards, like I'm in the audience. That was good. That wasn't good. That was good. Ooh, that wasn't good. And then I practice again the next day and kind of practice over and over and over until I felt like, okay, I think I have the flow right. I think I know how to just this this overwhelming desire to be effective.
Hmm.
So this guy comes. He comes. He sits in the living room, and for the first time, I present live to a real person.
Wow.
But James, I've been practicing, right? So at
Hmm.
that point, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. And after 30 minutes, he gets excited. He says, John, if I bring a friend tomorrow, will you do this again? Because he has experience network marketing, so he understands how it works.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next day he brings 2 friends. There's 3 people in the room. Same thing. He says, we'll be back tomorrow. He brings 9 people. It starts to snowball, right? And in Japan, this is in Japan, so the rooms are small. So you can fit, they have tiny chairs. If you have American-sized chairs, you can fit like 12 people. But with their little tiny chairs, you can fit like 20 people in the room. So they're jam-packed in the room, and I'm presenting, and every single one of them gets excited. And they stand up and they say, I'm bringing a friend tomorrow. And before I know it, I'm doing this 3 times a day, where 25 people are like packed in the room, and the next 25 are waiting to get in. But this is in a normal neighborhood. So then the neighborhood watch shuts me down.
Oh, snap.
Like, what are you doing? So then I'm scrambling trying to find another location. It's a good problem, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find another location. I get a buddy. He rents a little room that is kind of dedicated for this type of a presentation. And I start doing presentations. And then I realized, man, I can't be the only one that does this.
Hmm.
If it's just me, I'm the bottleneck. Like,
Hmm.
it's not going to expand fast enough. So then I focus on training other presenters, and it works.
Hmm.
Like within a month, there's 10 other presenters. They know how to do the pitch. They're very good at presenting, and we start to see duplication and leverage. And I'm doing presentations all day and then submitting sign-up forms all night. And in 2 months, we have 5,000 people.
5,000 people.
Yeah. And now this is Japan. It's in Tokyo, so it's a very dense population. You don't have to go very far because people are everywhere. But man, they started to congregate. They got attracted. It worked. Like network marketing works. And then I'm a total believer. I'm a total believer. And it just skyrockets from there. We do over $100 million the first year, and we almost double that the second year. I'm working through holidays and working all night long, and just you're so excited at that stage when you hit momentum. James, you're in momentum right now, so you know what I'm talking about. But you hit that momentum stage, you have so much energy, you never get tired. And I'm just like just having so much fun meeting new people every single day. That's part of it, is that community, that sense of adventure. You get to meet new people. And 3 years later, the business is massive. And every year I call the school up and say, can I defer? And every year they say yes. But after 3 years, I'm like, do I really want to be a veterinarian? Or do I want to travel the world and just live the life of a networker and get to meet people all over the globe and just change lives? Guess which one I chose?
Networking.
You guessed it, right? So I spent the next 25 years doing exactly that. I built in 30 countries. The team did over $3 billion in sales, and we had customers all over the world. We had repeat rates that were crazy high. I learned how to build a team. I learned how to structure systems. I learned what it took to be successful. Initially, it was trial and error, but then it was just doing it over and over and all these different things. And what really drove me at that point, I always had ambition, but just the curiosity of going to a new country and learning a new culture and trying to learn a new language and learning what foods they eat and learning how they think, and then going out and cold contacting and trying to find someone who had a similar dream, who resonated with the opportunity and was health minded and really wanted to help other people. And man, it was the life of dreams. I was single when I started, so I could work night and day. And then about 3 years in, I got married. And I told, my wife's name is Amy. I said, Amy, okay, we're going to go on a honeymoon. It's going to be a 2-year honeymoon. It's going to be great. Because I had all these other countries that I wanted to go build in. But we got to travel light. You can only take one suitcase. So that means you only get one pair of shoes. And we got to be able to move and be nimble and travel everywhere. And she was all in, right? But
Wow.
the first place we went to was Brazil, and I didn't speak Portuguese. And so I had to bring an interpreter, but I was still super frugal because I grew up really frugal in a very frugal home. And so I was saving every penny that I could because I wanted to reinvest it back into the business. And so I had this guy that came with us. His name was Todd, and he was bilingual. And of course, we just left on our honeymoon. Right? So we're at the hotel. We just landed in Brazil, and I'm laying in bed next to my new bride, and Todd's on the floor sleeping next to us. And and Amy turns next to me. She says, "Is this our honeymoon?" And I'm like, "Don't worry, honey. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. I promise. It's gonna get better." And she's held that against me for like 25 years now. And so I'm constantly telling, "Don't worry. It's gonna get better." And James, it got better. Okay, it really did get better. Now we get our own hotel room. We don't have to have the interpreter sleeping on the floor next. It's great. So that's how it started, right? And then 30 countries later, I'm living the dream. I've figured it out. I know how it works. I can go into any country. I can set up systems. I know how to succeed. And then, you think you have it all figured out and unexpected things happen. There's probably people on this call who spent their life dedicated to building a business and a team because they wanted that safety and security that you're talking about, that this opportunity, it really does provide. It really does provide it. So they dedicate their life to that. And then they wake up one morning and they're surprised, they're blindsided by this weird announcement that all of a sudden they could lose everything. I went through that. That happened to me. Okay, I wake up one morning, I'm completely blindsided, things totally out of my control. I'm like, I might have to start over? I might lose everything? This was just total shock. That was the genesis of Partner Co. I said, never again. Never again. We're going to start a company where people never have to start over again. And I really sat down and I got super reflective and I said, okay, if I was choosing a company where I felt comfortable that I could build and it would last generations, what distinct characteristics would it have? What would it have? That takes some thought, right?
Yeah.
It's a very thought-provoking question. So here's where I landed. I said, number one, it has to be a founder-led company. Because founder-led companies are different. They're mission-driven, they're value-driven, they have passion. But most importantly, they can make long-term decisions. Okay, those of you that are in touch with the industry right now, you see it everywhere. Companies are failing right and left, right? There's broken promises, they're changing comp plans. Private equity owned companies, companies that are public, companies that have public shareholders, the system is stacked against them. They just cannot make long-term decisions. They can't make the decisions that are right for you.
Makes sense.
You need a company that's founder-led by founders who know what it takes to succeed, who are driven by trying to help people, who are long-term minded, who make those long-term decisions that allow you to forget all the noise in the industry, focus on your dreams and building, and have that peace of mind that this is going to last. Number one, that's number one, right? Number two, because I'm a product guy, is you need time-tested products that are backed by science, that actually deliver results that you can go out in the field and verify. You can go out and you can say, okay, are there visible results? Are these products really working? Is there a track record of not only the products, but the community giving people the tools that they need to actually transform their life and their habits and their lifestyle, where they get long-term lasting results, not fly-by-night products that are, hokey, that are driven by the pay plan. That doesn't last. You got to have real products that give real results. That's number three. Number three, you got to have a comp plan that's not new. Okay, it's got to be time tested, so you have confidence it won't break. I mean, I could list off company after company after company. They come out and they claim to have this awesome, generous comp plan, and then 6 years later it breaks and they change it and they're yanking bonuses back and people's lives are being disrupted because it hasn't been tested. You need a comp plan that's fair and balanced. Okay, if you've been in the industry for a while, you know what that means. It can't be top heavy, but it also has to give plenty of opportunity to the big leaders, but you still have to focus on the new people. You got great products, you got great comp plan. That's just the start.
Wow.
What do you really need, James? You need a system. You need a field-led system of growth that actually allows people to duplicate fast. And a new person needs, especially in today's world. I'm going to go back in time just a little bit. James, I don't know how much time I have. I'm talking.
Oh, you're good. Take whatever you want.
Because this story's getting long.
Hey, who here wants John all night? Give me a waiver of me in the chat. I know.
Okay, listen. All right, I'm going to reminisce a little while because I've been in this for a long time. I'm 26 years in. So think about network marketing 20 years ago. What do we train people to do? We train people to have so much grit that they could last for 3 years before they made money, right? They would go to training after training after training, and everything we did was building resilience, right? Building grit. You can take the rejections. You can take 1,000 rejections. You can do it. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it, right? And the people that made it through that gauntlet, they would actually succeed. They were few and far between, but they became the icons and they became the motivation for everyone. Okay, that's the old model. It doesn't work anymore. Like, in today's world, you have to succeed faster.
Yeah.
People's attention span is so much shorter. Life is so much busier. We have so much technology. That approach doesn't work anymore. Okay, what works today? And now I'm really setting the bar high. Because if you've been in another company, if you don't have a field-led system of growth where a brand new person can come in and succeed in the first 2 weeks, you're not going to survive. Guess what? James is living proof. I could name a bunch of other people on this call that are living proof. That's why we have a partner code. And that's what's so rare. I was talking to somebody last week and they're like, lightning in a bottle. We've got it. Nobody else in the industry has it. We've got it. We have a system where a brand new person. And I go around the world now telling those stories. I talk about the brand new person who has zero network marketing experience, who comes into Partner Co. and plugs into the system, and within 2 weeks they're succeeding. And guess what that does? That success, that early success, that's what gives them the resilience. That's what gives them the motivation to go out and do mindset training long term, and go out and make lifestyle changes, and go out and learn how to contact people in a way where the audience self-selects. And you don't have to go through the rejection that I went through. You don't have to do that anymore. It's brilliant. Okay, so that's one character. You got to have that. Even if you have everything else and you don't have a field-led system of growth that's working today to produce quick results with a really high bar where a new person can succeed in 2 weeks, you're probably not going to survive. And I can't find another company that has that right now because they're all old school, you know? I love to travel. For me, life is very short. I want to see the whole world. And I want to do it with my family and friends and my team, and just, I want a life full of adventure. I want a company that allows me to travel and see the world. I want a company that has beautiful marketing. Marketing that you can use to build your business on your phone, no matter where you are, with your kids by your side, traveling, doing whatever it takes, on family vacation. You got to be able to do this business while you're doing other things that you love. That's what attracts people. That's what makes people join your team. That's what makes you, that's what allows you to do what James did in the last year and a half. He's exploded. His team's just growing all over the world. I was in Australia with James, and he was on stage training, and I went up after him. I'm like, that's James. I know James. Okay. Got to have tools. You got to have the best marketer in the world. Plug for Partner Co. We have the best CMO in the world. Okay. We have the best executive team.
Oh my God.
The executive team that is the best I've ever seen. We've been able to attract and assemble a team that supports you. And how do we operate as a company? We don't tell you what to do. We don't try and make your systems for you. We deliver products, we deliver compensation, we deliver marketing, we deliver events, we deliver travel opportunities. And when you develop the system, we're fast followers. James, how many times have I called you? James, tell me how the system's working so I can make sure that everything we do is supporting what you're doing, so we can come in as your backup.
Yes.
and support what you're doing. We're a field-led company. Why? Because I've been there.
Yeah.
I know what it takes to succeed. Corporate doesn't know. You know, we got to let the field lead, and then we support. There's not a lot of companies that have that culture. You want to know one more thing that's extraordinary? And
Yeah.
if I was looking for a company, this would be mandatory. Because you get in the wrong company with the wrong culture, and all the lines are fighting, and there's cross recruiting, and everybody's in competition and doing devious things to try and get ahead. That's no fun. You want a culture where the lines of sponsorship are blurred, and the top leaders are best friends, and they all collaborate. We just got back. We did a super trip to Tahiti. We were on a cruise. We went to 7 islands, and the top performers in the world came with us. And they were all from different lines and all from different countries. And we had these mastermind meetings. You would not believe the feeling in the room. It was extraordinary. Everyone's sharing exactly how they do the business. There's no secrets. It's all, we win together. Here's how we do this. Here's how we do that. Sharing all these different ways. We had a WhatsApp group with the group. It continued for months after the trip because everyone's like sharing their best ideas. And we're still doing that today, right? Partner Co. is not that well known. If you're here early, that's a good thing, right? It's not that well known. But there's teams all over the world looking for a safe home where they can build. And so what do? I call up James and Becky and I say, James and Becky, we need a new fresh presentation. We need a why Partner Co. Why now? What would be the points that would resonate in the market today? And then James and Becky go out and they test it and they test that and they talk to people and they bring it back. And then we put our whole team on it to make a package that you can use to simply send out to leaders who are we want the right type of leaders. They got to be dedicated to long-term growth. They have to be dedicated to building a solid customer base. They have to be ambitious and have big dreams, because we're in the business of big dreams.
Yes.
One of our values is dream big, act now,
Come on.
right? You got to dream big and act now. We have 7 values. James will share them later, but they're brilliant. I love them. But most importantly, I circle back to the very beginning, built to last. Built to last, James. You want to be at a company. I wouldn't choose a startup. I would choose an established company that has a global footprint, that has infrastructure and licenses and product registered all over the world. Because if you're going to build the business, you might as well build internationally. And you want to be able to build freely anywhere. That's how your teams expand rapidly. That's how you live this adventurous life. Right? So startups, they just don't have that. They're still testing things out. They're trying to figure out if their comp plan is going to break. They're trying to figure out if their products work. No, you want the best of both worlds. You want a fresh, young, unknown company that has all of that has time-tested everything, that has global footprint, that has processes in place, that has a stellar executive team. There might not be another one on earth. That's why PartnerCo is growing so fast.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
This is PartnerCo. That's how it started. We're right at the cusp of the beginning. We're just getting started.
What's happened? So it's been around 1.5 years. What have you seen?
Let me share something personal first. You guys in the field, you are the ones, you have a beautiful life, okay? I'm so envious of you. You have no idea how hard it is on the other side, right? Being on the corporate side is I thought it was grueling to build a team. This is way, way more grueling.
How many times have you traveled the planet already, by the way?
I'm on my 4th time around the globe.
Wow.
4th time. Yeah, so I've been on the road constantly because that's what it takes. We believe in building relationships, and the best way to do that is in person. So Darren and I have been on a crusade to go around the world. We've been shoulder to shoulder, meeting with leaders, casting vision, helping them see where we're headed, helping people feel faith and belief so that they can forget all the noise in the industry and all the horrible things that are happening and just focus on what we're doing. We're building something for the generation. So in 1.5 years, James, we thought it was going to take a lot longer, but something resonated, and we started growing right out of the gates, and the growth hasn't stopped. In fact, it's accelerating, and we've got the right team in place. We've got the right infrastructure. We're constantly innovating. We're constantly building out new systems and making sure that we're modern and relevant, and we're all about this. It's so fun. So last year, we had 2 PXPs. It's called the PartnerCo Experience. It's our big event that we do once a year. We had about 1,300 attendees. This year, we have 4 PXPs, US, Europe, China, Japan. We've quadrupled we've sold out every event. One event sold out in 5 minutes. It's crazy. That's just an indicator of what's happening. If you're anywhere on the globe, you can go experience PartnerCo at our PXP event. It's our premier event. Talk to James. It's sold out, but he'll figure something out.
We got to get you there for sure. My gosh, John, first of all, just thank you. Like, this is going to be the place to be at. So if you at all have interest in this event, September 20th to 22nd, if you want to be a part of this growth, like, message whoever connected to this call. We'll find a way. All right. If we got to, I shouldn't say this in front of you. We got to sneak you in through the back. We'll get you in there, But it's
that type of event. That's where you get to meet the founders, you get to meet the executives, you get to feel our culture, which I promise you is different. You'll get to hear success story after success story after success story, new cool announcements, everything.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And this is for the brand new person That's what I'm excited about. That story, John. We're looking for that lightning in the bottle, brand new person that's just like, I don't know what this is. I'm going to go. And they're going to be on stage next year at the PXP. So we're in this interesting time. You so perfectly described everything. Guys, if you already feel more confident after hearing what John's saying, put a 100 in the chat below. That was so well said. But it's not even, it's just getting started. Like, I just love this chart. And I think it accurately describes where we're at. We're not a startup. We're in this growth phase. We're about to have PXP. We have 2 months left, and we have the right people, a company that's done over $300 million in sales. We're in like 50 plus countries. Products like our amazing drops, like a Noni, like all these amazing ones. For the partners, we have a bill of rights that protects us. We have the top rated comp plan in the world. We have systems that last. But I think an X factor really is, especially in this industry, we always talk about momentum. It's like a sexy word. And you can always create momentum at any time. But it's so rare to have a company momentum like you went through with Noni and Marinda. That's what we're going through now. I've never been through a company momentum. And I think you see that happening. We have 2 months until PXP. It's about to burst. But tell us what you see happening in the near future for Partner Co. And what can momentum even look and feel like?
Yeah. So I go back to that, I was emphasizing new people joining and succeeding in 2 weeks. That blows my mind. And I've been in the industry for a long time. That is special. And I see that accelerating. I see the number of, okay, if you're an expert in the industry, you know that the typical paradigm is, oh, it's a closed market and the companies are just taking from each other, but it's not growing. Partner Co is completely blowing that out of the water. We have new people joining who have zero experience in network marketing, and they're the luckiest people on earth because their first experience with network marketing is with a company like Partner Co, where they actually succeed in 2 weeks and they have systems and support and mentors and training that allows them to succeed. They might be able to have the dream of being at the same company their whole life. These new people that are joining, how amazing is that? Right? That's what I see happening. That's what's so extraordinary about this moment. And I see that accelerating and expanding.
Makes sense. Well, John, I want to ask you as we're closing this out. What I appreciate about you is you're corporate, yes, but you're always a field leader. Guys, if you don't know, not only is John the owner, but we gave him a title of Chief Brand Partner Officer because that's literally who John is. As a partner in the field with this time frame, looking at this, if you're like brand new and you're like, all right, I see where this is, I want to take advantage of this. We got 2 months on the clock until PXP. What would your leadership tip and direction be to us?
I have like 50, but I'm going to distill it down to one. Okay. First of all, so I wear a lot of hats. I do a lot of different, I have a lot of different responsibilities, but my favorite and my number one responsibility is to follow leaders around that are succeeding, like James and Becky, and completely dissect what they're doing on a daily basis and fully understand it, to make sure that as a company, everything we do is amplifying what you're doing already to succeed. So that leads to my one tip, and the other 49 we'll save for later. But one tip is plug in to a group that has a system that's working and follow it.
Simple. Guys, if you're ready to take that baton and accept that coaching tip, put a me in the comments. I take that myself as well too. And I'm like, all right, let's go run this thing. John, thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you for being the pioneer, for being the leader, for taking responsibility for every single life. It's a big burden, and I know it's a heavy weight, but we just so value you. We appreciate you. We love you, Amy, your entire family, and we thank you. And we're here to make sure that we can deliver and that the fruit that you see is well worth your sacrifice. And we're grateful for that. We truly are better together, our tagline and Partner Co. So thank you. John.
I love that. Thanks, James.
So appreciate you.
Thanks, Becky.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you at PXP. Everybody.
Awesome.
My gosh, how amazing was that? If you got at least one nugget, put a 1 in the comments below. What do you do now if you're brand new? Well, get started. It's a one-time lifetime $30 membership. Get some products, try our drops, try our Noni, try our Renew. Talk to the person that connected you. They can get you all that information. We'll get you connected to our systems. We'll get you connected to our communities and everything. But the biggest thing is this, and I charge you, if you're feeling this right now, the culture, if you're like, man, I want to see and be there as this thing's blowing up, find a way, talk to the person who brought you here and be like, I need to be at that PXP event in September. How can I get there? When there's a will, there's a way. And I promise you this, the next year is going to be the most extraordinary year for your life and your family's life if you make that decision. But other than that, everyone, hey, feel free to unmute yourself, get back to your friend that connected to this, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Have a great one.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, John. So fabulous. Love that story.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you. That's
We'll see you
great.
next time.
This is
Thank
home.
you so much.
See you at PXP.
Yep.
you.
Yeah, PXP.
Yes,
Thank you,
soon.
John, for everything.
Bye,
Bless
everybody.
everybody. Bye.
Everybody, thank
Bye,
you.
bye.